But there is something really important about men, because men are being targeted right now. They're being targeted for castration, figurative castration. They're being, he uses the word neutered. We're going to get to that. It's no joke. Let's talk about, Natalia, we're going to go to the next one, 1747. This is him talking about young men thinking for themselves, why it's important and why that is such a deep threat to what he calls the matrix.
This doesn't make sense. And when you encourage people to think for themselves, especially the youth, that's what Socrates got accused of. He's corrupting the youth. And to be honest with you, a huge portion of my fan base were 18 to 23, 24-year-old males. When you have the youth, the masculine youth of the world, thinking for themselves, that's pretty scary to authority. Because it's the masculine youth of the world that is, one, the revolutionaries, and two, also, that's the backbone of the slave force. If you need people to go die in a ditch in Afghanistan, you need them. If you need people to work bullshit jobs in a coal mine with no health care, you need them. If you need people to blindly comply to bullshit, you need them more than anybody, more than you need the feminists and the liberals. You need the real men to go out there and comply with the bullshit, to live a shitty existence, to purport and prop up a system.
The warrior class.
The warrior class, right? And if enough of these men stand in one place and say, this is enough, that's when a revolution happens.
Yeah.
So this is the most dangerous
that's good.
group of...
We can stop there. He's 100% right. And pay attention to what we've been doing on this show too. What do I always say? Always say that they're coming for? The military. That's why I've been covering all this woke bullshit that's going on. Got to sit, military, people in the Army and Navy listening to little videos about woke pronouns that look like Blue's Clues. I mean, we covered that at length. This is very, very important. An experimental vaccine that must be given or you're discharged. This is very, very important stuff. Because you cannot weaken a society unless you weaken the strongest in that society. Physically, who is the strongest? His audience, honestly. 18 to 25-year-old men. The strongest. Physically. If there were a war, you tell me. Let's say there were a terrible civil war that broke out, God forbid, or there was a war. Let's make it even smaller, because sometimes that's hard to envision. Something happens on your block, right? And all of a sudden it gets really scary. And there's a guy who lives next door to you and he's badass. He knows how to work a firearm. He knows how to fight. He's not afraid. He doesn't live in fear. He runs toward the danger. He's built. He's tall. He's strong. You going to go for that guy, or are you going to go for the obese person next door who's sitting playing video games, takes him 25 minutes to walk to the corner, unmotivated, scared, with 3 cloth masks during COVID at the grocery store? You take your pick. I will guarantee you that everybody in that fight or flight survival mode is going for the big badass guy. I know I would. You got to take that guy out if you want to destroy a country. You got to make him think. First of all, you got to get him fat. Obesity is healthy. Covers of magazines. The dad bod is so awesome. I'm not talking about a little bit here and there. I know. I like a thick man. I know what you're thinking, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about unhealthy. Get him out of the gym. You got to get him thinking masculinity is toxic, right? You got to get him thinking that he needs to sit back all the time in school when he's young and let the girls speak. He's got to be quiet, and that everything he says is inclined to be misogynistic, so he has to think before he speaks at every turn. You gotta deball that guy. You heard it. You gotta castrate him. You gotta make him feel small, or you cannot weaken a country without that, because those are the people. Think about it. Think about the guys you know. Guys that go to the gym, guys that care about their body. They care about what they put in their body. They're conscious of the food they eat. They want to be a contributing member of society. They like to make money. They like to be ambitious. They like to take care of their family. They're reliable. They're dependable. They're honorable people. Think about those guys. Are those guys going to be inclined if you run around and you decide suddenly that because of whatever reason, you're going to just shut down their business? They're going to just lay down and take it? No, hell no. They're either going to fight you. They're probably not going to take to blows, but they're either going to fight you. They're going to say, I'm not shutting down. I'm staying open. Come for me. Remember, what was it, that gym in New Jersey? What was it, the Atlas gym? There was a gym in New Jersey that they were like, fuck you. I'm not shutting this shit down. That's very admirable. That's very admirable. Those were 2 strong, tough guys. They were like, come for me. They're either going to say that, or that guy is going to say, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to take my family. I'm going to take my money, and I'm going to move. And I'm going to give that to a city, to a state that values my freedom and doesn't treat me like shit. Okay? So you need them, you really need those guys to be fat and addicted to porn and living in the metaverse because they're afraid of reality and thinking they're toxic all the time and wondering what they're going to say that's going to hurt somebody's feelings every second of the day. Deballed. Deballed. You need them deballed. I'm going to say it as many times. I don't care. That is the truth. If you like the short clip, you can catch another one here, or you can catch the full episode right here.